Hey everyone, class is still over. Just had a quick snack. Could you explain what you mean when you said that we need the same vertical and horizontal? Good question right there. So when you compare graphics, and then we're gonna hop into the data analytics here. We'll go to the main screen right here. When you compare two distributions, you want to make sure you don't give a different, like this one you see right here has a different horizontal axis. You also want to make the same vertical. These don't, but it's best if they have the same vertical and horizontal. But these right here on the right side, lost it. The better you line them up so that they have the same axes, the better they are. Like this has the same. So now these are the same horizontal axis right there, which is a good thing. Good question. Does that make sense, Louis, right there? This is what you want to see right there. You don't want to see this over here where they have a different axis. Technically, you don't want the other one, the vertical axis, to be different too. The more similar they are, that it's comparing apples to apples. Would I be able to ask a quiz question real quick? Yeah, let's do that really quick. Okay, let's find that, Megan. So let's throw in, and here's the thing how office hours work. If you're here, you get to ask the questions. So let's start with that. You were the first person to ask, basically. And Megan, drop that quiz question on here. And that's the thing, too, is like, I don't want to always tell people, just go look at the videos. We do live office hours for this reason. Because there's some I haven't done, or haven't done in a while. Or maybe I didn't give an explanation of, so I'll give a better one. So which one is it? I got confused on the homework the other day where the data topic were unimodal, uniform. That's a tricky one. And that's a really good, that one usually comes up during office hours, and Megan's dropping the question in the chat. So check out the office hours video here. I think we did that one just recently. Always go to the live, and hey, 13 people. We're throwing some 5,000 points at 13 people. I think we did that one over here, and it was question number 7. You can see the long time it takes. And we go through and talk about the way it looks. So I draw it out. Does that make sense? Like I start drawing this out right here.
Less probability.
Now I hear Brian in the background talking. So check out, I really think the videos are a good time to like actually explain and draw and say like, this is the way it would look. This is how baby weights look. This is how height, lengths of hair look. And we can come up with some good ways to talk about it. Okay, we got the question in the chat. It should have, if you go to Pearson or so, let me know if you have problems still. Student in an introductory to statistics course were asked to describe their politics. Ooh, I think this is a tough one. And this is chapter 3 quiz. Is it, Megan? Is it chapter 3 quiz? Is it chapter 3 quiz? And then we're gonna do this and then some data analytics. Oh, tell me I'm not. I might have to relog in. Chapter 3 quiz. Thank you, Megan. I'm going to. Okay. We're going to find this one. They'll probably do data analytics and S. I will say this, though. If everyone's like, no, do chapter 3 quiz, we'll do more chapter 3 quiz. It is your choice. You come to office hours. You say what we do. Loading it up in the background right now, loading up Pearson. So chapter 3 quiz. Oh, I think I know which one you might be doing. I think I know which one. It's a tricky one. It might be the one that asks you, like, I thought it was this one, actually, for a moment. That one gets a lot of people. That's the one I actually thought it was. Let's find it. Yeah, number 2. You got it. We're going to do that here next. I believe so. 87. Yeah. Tell me, if you see the number, tell me. Because your numbers are different than mine. But people realize after they come to like an officer, they're like, oh, I can't just say number 4. It's like, yeah, because I have all the questions. Here it is right here, right? Is this it? Give me a Y or N in the chat, like yes or no. I believe we found it, right? So let's put the timestamp, because I think we have it now. Stat 201, chapter 3 quiz, MyPearson, students. Yours looks different. Okay. Might be the next one. Sometimes they put questions very similar together. Is it this one? Ooh, I think this one's tricked me. I think this is probably it, right? You can put a Y or N, like yes or no in the chat. I think this one has tricked me. Let's see. Is it 14? Oh, is it 15? Is it 14 or 15? So it's 14, just different numbers, because there's different versions right here. So I think it's 14, right? If it's a 14, I'll do 14 right here. And then take a look. Okay. So this is let me read timestamp real quick. Okay. This is chapter 3. Chapter 3 is going over bivariate categorical data. And what we mean by that is the displays right here, the contingency table, bivariate categorical. What is your political affiliation? What is your gender? The side-by-side bar charts here, right here on the bottom, what is your political affiliation? What is your gender? And this one gets a little tricky on how they want to divide it up, and the other question version, a little tricky too. So watch out, and I'm going to try not to make mistakes. Now, what I do like is this question because it asks the conditional distribution. This would read, given someone is female, what is the probability they're liberal? So you simply go here, and visually speaking, I'll draw it visually first. Given somebody is female, would only look at this. So how would we find, given somebody is female, the probability they're liberal? What would be the math on that? What would be the math for given somebody is female, the probability they're liberal? That's the conditional distribution. You set the condition female. So given somebody is female, and you only focus in on the highlighted data, what is the probability they're female? Exactly. Great job right there, Lily. So that would be the probability of being liberal given you are female. And they might be timesing by 100, so we can do that right there. And we just go across the top, and we do to 1 decimal place. The last part's the hardest part, where I do sometimes make an error, because I'll start second-guessing myself because I have made mistakes. I'm just doing, given someone is female, the probability they're moderate. And you can check your work by subtracting. Oh, it was the same number. Should have noticed that. See, this is like 5%, 5% minus the 0.2. We should get about 4.6. And we'll check our math here by doing 8 divided by 84. And of course, I can't math today because that's 4.8 times 2. Wow, Brian, come on, man. So it's 9.5. There were some decimal differences, and you can see this happen sometimes because there was like a 3 there and a 3 there, which led to the small decimal difference. Just do 8 divided by 84. Don't try to math it like Brian, or you'll make mistakes like Brian. 52 divided by 118, because given someone is male, the probability they're liberal, and that's 44.1 when we round it. And then given someone is male, the probability they're moderate, that's 45 divided by 118. And 38.1. And so now we can add these, and we get 82.2, which should be 17.8. And let's see if we can math again. Have we regained our math abilities? Yes, our math is back. Woo! I'm back. There we go. Double check your math. 21 divided by 118. Given someone is male, the probability they're conservative. So now, these are the conditional displays. And this is where I get tricked sometimes. So you should have, of course, 6 bars. And we want to make sure it graphs out with the numbers we're seeing. Notice how our percentages are like 45 point, and that's really easy to tell where we're at. So look, it's going to be this one, boom. Because 45.2, 45.2, and 9.5 right there. And that's liberal and moderate for the two groups. And then we see the male distribution does that a little bit. And there looks to be a small dependency because given somebody is male, they're a little more likely to be what? So look at I'll zoom in on the graphic. This is the visualization of what we just plotted out with numbers. Given somebody is male, they're a little more likely to be what? You might never be able to tell what the bar is. I'll move it. You should be able to see. There. So this is the male. And given that someone is male, they're a little more likely to be conservative. So there's a moderate association. They do not appear to be independent because significantly different for at least one group. We should be right. Yeah. It's iffy-ish. I wish they made it very more obvious of an association. But does that make sense, Megan, right here? Because of the differences in the conditionals where 18% of males are conservative versus only 9.5% of females are conservative. I mean, it's almost double. And you can see it here in the bar, that this bar and this bar, the blue bar there is almost double. And so there's a slight association. They're not completely independent. If they're independent, they would be pretty, like each bar would look about the same for each group. And this could be done with a mosaic plot also. They're doing side-by-side bar charts right here, which are a way to display two categorical variables right here, side-by-side bar charts behind me. Or stacked bar charts, whatever you want to call it. Can you explain the last part again? Good question. So the last part right here is asking, is it independent or not? When things are independent, then one variable would not matter on the other. Imagine if I told you, if you studied for the test, passing is independent of that. Which of these, we have people who studied yes and no, so this is the yes studied and no. These are the people who passed, these are the people who did not, or the bar up top is the people who failed. So which of these, graphic 1 or graphic 2, shows where studying is independent of passing? So in graphic 1 or graphic 2, is studying independent of passing? Which of these shows an independent relationship? Two, because in graphic 1, people who studied had a higher pass rate. And this is the conditional distribution within the bar. Given you studied, it was more probable you passed. Versus over here, given you did not study, it would be less probable you passed. But let me ask you this. What if I change this graphic just slightly? This is not changing the conditional distribution, but I want you to tell me, by moving that bar over there, what did I change? Remember, this is studied, and we're looking at studied yes, no. So this is called the what distribution at the bottom. This is a separate question. At the bottom of this graphic is called the what distribution. This is a mosaic plot showing two categorical variables. There were more people who studied. Exactly. There were less people who did not study. The widths of the bar at the bottom tell you the percent for each group of the study, not study for the levels. And you can see there was a slightly higher pass rate, but this is a very weak association because within those who studied, there was a slightly higher pass rate. This is a much stronger association because within those who studied, like 80% pass versus you might estimate like only 30% over here because that goes up to about 30% out of the 100% total. And this is maybe like 85% or something. We're just guesstimating where that would be at. Does this make more sense? Like you guesstimate that's 85 and that's 30. So within those who did not study, 30% who passed, that's conditional. Given you did not study, 30% pass. Given you did study, 85% pass. Does that make more sense, Lily, Jonathan? And yeah, so conditional means you say within one variable, given somebody studied, what's the probability of pass? Marginal is just one variable, like what percent of people studied. So it's a just one variable display. So good stuff, good questions. I think it's time for some data analytics. And please just ask any question. Be like, hey, can you do this one? Can you do this one? And that's what we do here. We do as many questions as we can, and then we feel of questions, we expand upon it. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Megan. Really, let's raise some more points. I appreciate it. Because sometimes people will be like, you don't have a video for this one question. I'll feel so bad. Because I'll be like, I was so stuck. I was so stuck. Okay. Here we are. 1353. Stat Tool 1, Data Analytics number 2. Getting started. So really, this getting started is the most important thing because you should always look at how you're graded. Someone say in the chat for points, where are you going to look on every one of these assignments to see how you are graded? Where do you look on every one of these assignments to see how you are graded? Because this is literally how you're graded. You look at the rubric. Always look at the rubric. Be like, did I do the things in the rubric? The grader's just going to go in here and click these buttons. That's how the grader grades. Great jobs, Arai and Elsie right there, and Jonah. Hopefully everything. So you want to make sure you look at the rubric and you understand that you've done each of these criteria. And look at your assignment after you're done. And be like, did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? I'm good, 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 good. So the first thing is putting all your information in the document. We're going to open up a Word document here in the background. This is just the getting started portion. One of the best things is there's no reason to never not turn these in. Double negative. You should always turn these in. Fixed it. What I mean by that is if you're doing these assignments, if you go and just put the info in the document and submit it, you get a point. So let's go look at that part right here. You need to put your info in the document. You can see it right here. Once again, this is not your info, so don't put this, but it's an example of what to put. Your name, your email address, your professor, and I'm in the YouTube section. Only put YouTube section here if you're in Brian's Stat to Win YouTube section. I know what it is, and if my graders take out points, tell me, and I'll tell them not to take out points. I only have one section. It's the YouTube section, so I know who you are. So that's how to get started right there. We've already got a point, and we've only been doing this for 2 minutes. I hope everything can only take 2 minutes. So let's start doing this right here. Generate your random sample. What's neat is I can kind of do this right here because, I mean, we have to do it. So let's go right here, making your random sample in Excel. So At tool 1. Okay. So you're going to download the data analytics file right here. Get that data analytics file. Let's open it up. I might switch to doing it if, well, I'll do it within this, and I'll switch to a different assignment here soon. Enable editing. Good to go. Okay. So I'm not going to do all the work with this file because I don't want to show like exact, like I do kind of your work. Oh, where was the thing? Brian's doing the work, but not doing the work. I think we changed this. Oh yeah, I had to change it to this is not for a grade. So let me change this to Brian is doing work close to what you do. Do not copy exactly what he does. Read your assignment. I mean, I'm going to do basically your work. But sometimes I put this up because I've had students be like, I just copied what Brian did. So I put this warning up on the screen sometimes. I'm basically doing it. Who follows me in the chat? Like, first off, I'm about to take a random sample, which is exactly what you need to do. But I want you to also see how to do these steps. So I put this little warning up here to be like, don't just turn off the audio and just turn your brain off. I got you. You got it right there. Let's do this. Okay, so we need a random sample. I think it's at 50 rows. Always read your assignment. Random sample of 50 rows right here. Ava knows. So generate a random numbers, sort the data, copy the first 50 rows into the random sample sheet. So here's how to do it step by step. Step 1. In the random number, type equals rand. And when you type equals rand, you need to close it off. And once you do this, it'll create a random number. That's how to do it. You've now created a random uniform number between 0 and 1, which means every number between 0 and 1 is equally likely. Now go ahead and double-click here. That copies everything down. Before clicking away, someone already clicked away, hit Control or Command C to copy, and then Control or Command V to paste. Now you have the paste window open at the bottom of the screen. If the paste window didn't open, right-click and paste. I'll show that. In the paste window, whether you had to right-click or down there, paste values. So once again, when you copy, you can right-click and paste, and you want to paste the values. Propaganda. Or when you paste like this, you can go down here and paste the values. The reason we paste the values is these are no longer an equation now, they are static values. Since they are static values, we can go to our column. So you should be at this stage right here. Rewind the video if you need. But you should have the values pasted. They're no longer a formula. And let me say this. Everyone good? Right here. I'm going to pause. You can always, if you're watching live or watching in the future, rewind the video. But I just want to pause. Everyone good? I've gone too fast in the past. I'm just making sure everyone good. Good stuff. So now that we're here, what we're going to do is we're going to click the top column, go to data, and go to sort. I don't think it says which way to sort. Rock knows.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. Sort it, click sort, and now you've sorted it. Now your random 50 rows are going to be from 2 all the way down to 51. Why 2 to 51? Because when you count 1 to 50, it's 1 to 50. But since row 1 has the column information in it, you can't count 1. So to count to 50 starting at 2, you'd go to 51 because you're counting 50 numbers. So 1 to 50 is 50, but 2 to 51 is also 50. So make sure to go down to 51. And I'll show again that I'm clicking the row and then I'm holding shift. We'll grab those in a second. Good to see you, Didi, in the chat. I've been really busy lately. I'm sorry. It's nice. So many awesome people around the world. And click Control C. And now go over to the random sample sheet, and it's already got those headers in there, and click Paste. How are we doing right here? How are we doing now? Are we good? Yay! How are we doing? We'll see if it has a screenshot here in a second. I'm trying to remember if it says to give a screenshot. I think people are following. Yours disappeared? We'll show the steps again. Once you have your random numbers, go ahead here to row 2. Click it, then hold shift, scroll down, and then hold shift and Control C or Command C, and then over here, Control V or Command V. I think, are people good? Let me know, because we should have here. You can delete the random rows probably. Let's look at the rubric to see if we need anything. Do we need anything? Preview the rubric. File formats, that's when we turn it in. Random sample, matching the instructions. Can't remember if it says take a screenshot of the random sample. Let's take a look. We'll just Google screenshot in here. Screenshot. Submit a screenshot of your completed random sample. We just did, boom, right there. There we go. Who's with me that now what you should have is, if you can scroll out right here, and there you are. If you screenshot this right here, that should be your random sample. Let me know if they think it's too small or anything. But you might just, actually, you know what? Since we locked the first row, how would you crop the screenshot? Oh, good question. So let's see right here. When you screenshot, here I'll show you. One, screenshot just this. This is what we want for screenshots, is just what matters. Does that make sense? So this is the proper screenshot to take. Just what matters. We can see that you took just through row 51. We know you did it. If your screenshot were to be something like this, you could lose points for too much. Let's say you already have that in your Word document. If you already have this in your Word document, click the image and go to picture format and then crop. So you have to have the image clicked, picture format, and then crop. Grab the black bars and simply drag them in. You can grab the ones on the edges too and drag those in. And as long as you're showing right here the row headers, that should be pretty good right there. And now we have a nice clean screenshot. You can even do fun things like picture format and add a little drop shadow or whatever you want. Don't do anything really distracting like that. That is ridiculous. Nice like a little thing. So I think we're good, right? We have random sample done. Look at us rocking and rolling, getting things done. Okay. Task 2. Now this is where I'm going to switch data. So I'm going to switch data right here because I don't want to do exactly what you're doing. So give me 1 second. I'm going to open up some data that's not your data. I thought I had student, like not, it's like this data set's called student. There it is. There we go. Okay, here we go. Don't convert. Okay. Once again, this is not like confidential data. It's random data on students, like are they left or right-handed? How many do they text? You're welcome, Lily. So once again, we got to put it on the screen here at the bottom. Brian is doing work similar to your work, not the exact same work. Do not copy. Someone's like, wait, I don't have that data set. You're fine. You're fine. Let's talk about making bar charts. So this is how to make bar charts. Question. When do we make a bar chart? A bar chart is made when what? A bar chart is made when what? It's at the top of the screen. A bar chart is made when what? Yeah, I didn't know Hugging Face. That's interesting. Kaggle's awesome. Thank you right there, Didi. Good suggestion. Point in the chat. Kaggle is an amazing site. I'll check out the other one right there. But yeah, Kaggle's amazing. I know Kaggle. I'll check out the other one too. Kaggle has so much data. How do we go about, how did you verify ChatGPT? You can kind of test it out, see if it works. That's a reflection thing when you're using ChatGPT. We gave those pretty lightly, Zariah. Good question, Zariah. The reflection part at the end is graded pretty lightly. When do we use a bar chart? Why do we use a bar chart? So who knows that one? When do we use a bar chart? Why would we ever use a bar chart? We use a bar chart when what? We use a bar chart when what? We use a bar chart when what? The answer is at the top of the screen. Univariate categorical. Megan getting some points right in the chat. So when you have univariate categorical, you use the pie chart, bar chart, Pareto chart, frequency table, ring chart, all those different things right there. Ring pops, not ring charts. So we use it when we have univariate categorical data. And with this in mind right here, we are going to make one where we have informative chart titles. What are they looking at? Data labels, ensure the counts are on the bars, clean up unnecessary blanks. So let's make a bar chart here. Task number 2 and submit a screenshot. We should probably write about it. Does it not say write about it? I thought we wrote write about it. Maybe that's towards the end. Interpretations. Yeah. So we're going to interpret it at the end. Okay. So here we are making our bar chart. To make a bar chart, univariate means one variable. True. Univariate means we're only going to look at. So what is a variable here I could make a bar chart of? Hint, there's only 3. What is a variable I could make a bar chart of? We're about to make one, but what is a variable in this data set, which is not yours, that I could make a bar chart of? You can verify with tab 2, looking through. Yes! Nice answer is Didi. Gender. It's a categorical variable. Handedness. Significant other. These are all categorical. So here's how to make a bar chart. Step 1. Click Control or Command A to select all the data. Step 2. Go to Insert, Pivot Table. Insert, Pivot Table. Now that you've clicked Insert Pivot Table and the data is already selected, click OK. Now we are simply going to go here and choose our variable like handedness. Let's go to handedness, which you can also search for. Now, I will say this with your assignment. Watch out. I think you have clarity and clarity category or something. Make sure you select the right one. And there's two that look similar. Be very careful to select the right variable when you do this. You can type it in and search for it. You're going to take the variable and put it into the values. The values is what you're looking at. Right now, we want to look at the count of handedness, which is how many people there are. This is just how many total people until we take handedness and put it either the rows or the columns. Once again, Rock would say, it doesn't matter. You can put in rows and columns and rows. We're just putting in one. And now we have created a frequency table. Remember, the frequency table up there at the top is one of the univariate displays of categorical data. It just shows the frequency of observations. Now we are going to take this and simply click Pivot Chart. You can see the bar chart already created in the background. There are other displays for other types of data. We just go with the generic bar chart. We don't really like 3D in our class, and that one's not even correct, but we just go with the generic one. We are going to make this more pretty here in a second. So I'm going to move it over here to the side, and I like to choose the quick layout by going to Design. Under Design, click Quick Layout, and click the one on the second row and second column right here. That's under Design, Quick Layout. Now, we might just add in one more axis title. On a PC, you have this option, but on a Mac, you don't. You'll go here. It's just a clarity color, correct, Louis? Because there's two, right? But you'll do clarity category, not the other one. You should get a chart that looks kind of like mine when you do it. There'll be more. I think you have more groups, though. You're going to click here to add chart elements. Both a Mac and PC have this button. And then you'll go here to data labels, and we can put the data labels on top. Look at that. And then we're going to go here, and we are going to go to axis title and go to primary horizontal. There we go. You can change the colors of the bars. Right-clicking here, you'd be like, I like a little, that's the outline, right? The fill of the bar. There we go. You're like, I just want that, like a burnt orange. Handedness. And then we could go here and we could say count of handedness for Stat 201 students prepared by Brian Stevens. Look at that. Look at that. And we'll answer some questions here. But access title it's not going to be access title. This should be count of individuals. There we go. Look at this. And then you can increase font if you click it and go to increase font right here. So you can choose how big your fonts are. It's too big. And I'd say this is pretty good. If you look at this right here, I'd say we have a pretty good bar chart here. Pretty good. Just increasing font by clicking it and changing font. And then we're going to screenshot this and then answer questions. So you want to take a nice, neat screenshot. So let me ask this. I'm going to answer questions. How good does my bar chart look? We'll make it smaller here because we don't need it that big on the screen. But how good? What are people's thoughts? Does that look like a good bar chart? You can even go to the picture format, throw a little border around it right here, and there's my bar chart. There it is. Questions are general question, but is it correct to base our charts off the data of our random sample? Correct. Good question right there. Yes, your charts are from your random sample. When I did clarity category, it only shows the categorical variable, but not any other data. Any ideas? It should be showing. Make sure when you do it, make sure to put both in your table right here. You have to have it both in the rows and in the values. Thank you so much, Jonah, right there. You have to have it in the rows and the values. Should the legend be included in the screenshot for task 2? or we keep it off until it's mentioned to add a legend and test tree. I think this is all you need right here. How do you add the values? Click on the chart itself, go to design, and go to add chart element and data labels right here. So data labels right there. I basically did the whole thing, but my numbers 1 through 50 changed for the first screenshot. I did the sort too. You have to do the paste. Like when you paste special, paste the values, it locks the numbers. It locks the numbers. Locks the numbers. And they shouldn't take off the numbers on random or go out of order. That's not a big deal. No, you should be fine. Because they shouldn't. It should be that you just have a random 50 rows. Let me know if they say it's an issue. But we would also fear the student didn't randomize the numbers. Yeah, maybe change it. I would change it since we're this early. Change it because it would be hard for us to tell if it wasn't, because you want to lock the numbers because the numbers have been locked right here in order. So you wouldn't want to just take the first 50 rows because then if you lock it, we know that you did it. And once again, when you're doing, well, I have to unwind time a lot. Check earlier in the video. We got this. At any point, ask questions, especially when we're at this right here. How are people doing? Do people have their bar chart? Who has their bar chart right now? So that was, we completed a bar chart. Who's with me on this? Bar chart good? Good bar chart? Are we good? You want to click off the image to take the screenshot. I think we're up to the next task. Task 3, histogram quant. What do the outside data labels need to say? They need to be informative of what you have seen. Mine says handedness, and mine says count of individuals. So you want to think of like, mine is for people and for their handedness. So you want to think you're talking about diamonds. You're talking about diamonds and the clarity. Good question page right there. How do you add the values? You click the chart here and go to design and go to add chart elements and data labels right there. So make sure you've clicked the chart. It'll bring up extra menus. Go to design, add chart elements, and data labels right there. So that'll add the values. Good questions. This is where you can add everything. You can add the axis titles and stuff like that. You can even remove an axis from it. You can do all the different things. Okay, I think it's time for the histogram. Histogram. Stat tool 1, data analytics 2, task 3, histogram. So to make a histogram, we need what kind of data? To make a histogram, we need what kind of data? And I like you see we have this down here. Submit a screenshot of the histogram. We can do that. To make a histogram, we need what kind of data? Louis, you might need to send me a picture. We need to send me a picture of it. We need quantitative. Try this histogram with us, Louis, see what happens. If this doesn't work, you might need to send me a picture of it. So we need quantitative data. For histograms, it has to be quantitative. And one quantitative variable makes a histogram. So we're going to go back to our data sheet right here. And this is my data sheet. Once again, I'm using different data than you're using. So a little bit different to work, but still the same ideas. To make a histogram, you're going to do the following. Select the quantitative row or column, that you're going to talk about. I'm going to look at people's desired weights. Good work, Louis. 3 some points. So we're going to look at desired weight. And then we are going to go to insert. And can you see it? Right here is a histogram. So make sure you've selected your quantitative column by clicking the top. You'll click the top column. Then go to insert and click the histogram and then click it. On a scale, can I stop? Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Please. We'll be doing in-person officers in a little bit. We'll get this one done. Then I'll take a quick break, walk around a little bit, enjoy the day. Maybe, so good. Haven't been buying stuff on campus. We got a histogram. What do you notice about desired weight? It is a right-skewed kind of bimodal distribution. You can see a mode here towards like 121 or so. A mode here towards 173. So bimodal. And then we need to make this look all pretty right here. So once again, I like the quick layout. It can help a lot of times. We don't need the labels over the bars. And a quick layout, you let me down. Let's throw some axis titles on here. If you've clicked your chart, you can add axis titles. And so we are adding the axis titles for this. And we have a chart title. It shouldn't say the numbers over the bars. I don't like that for a histogram. It's just more than we need. Chart title, axis title. Labeling the x-axis as bin price and y as count. So they want you to call the x-axis bin price and y as count. So we're telling you that, adding data labels to each bar. Okay, so we got to do that. Well, so we go here, and we go to data labels, and we go to over the bars. Actually, okay, there we go. So there's the data labels over the bars, and we've done it. So now all I would need is informative chart title. So this is desired weight of Stat 201 students prepared by Brown Stevens. And then here is count. Really? Where'd it go? Count of individuals. And then this is desired weight. How are people doing on their histogram? You can make the text bigger or smaller by clicking under home and increasing font size. It's all preference. Just make sure it looks pretty good. Whoa, that does not look good. Apparently I clicked all. Okay, that's good. I like that. Make the title a little bit bigger though. So I'm gonna click just the title. I don't know how I clicked everything. Got everything clicked. I'm doing it again. And make the title bigger. Graphics are an art, not a science. And we're going to make this, because I want this to not go across the whole page. That's pretty good right there. And so now we go to screenshot. Make sure you're off the graphic when you do the screenshot. And if you do get extra, you can always crop it. Here, we'll pretend we got extra. Because you don't want to include extra parts of your screen. You want to get only the parts of the screen that matter. So if you did get extra parts of the screen like I did right here, you simply click the image inside of Word, go to picture format, and go to crop. Click the picture format, then crop, and then bring the picture in by grabbing the edges. And then you can get your nice, neat, clean picture right there. You notice I didn't even notice, but I got some extra at the top right there. So we're going to take and just drag that down a little bit. And now it looks way better, and we can make it a decent size to where we could talk about it, like just like that other one. And then we could add a border. Now it goes to a new screen, apparently. So this right here, we have 2 great looking graphics, 3 great looking graphics already. And if you notice, we're just rocking and rolling right here, getting it all done. So I think that does that task. We now have a histogram and we have some bar charts. Now we need to talk about the summary statistics and the IQR. So the summary statistics and the IQR can be really done very easily. Or let me put the timestamp. Let me ask first, how are people doing? Are people doing all right? Did you make your histogram? Did you get the analysis done? How are people doing on the histogram? Summary statistics. And the question in the chat is, for task 3, ChatGPT is telling me to change the bin widths on the histogram, but that option wouldn't show up. Yeah, it's you probably need to right-click it. Might need to retime it. You probably need to, on the Mac or PC, because that's the issue a lot of times. And you don't have to change the bin widths. It's probably going to be right-click, access options. It's not it. Let me go to format access. Don't worry about changing it, I would say. Oh, there we go. Bin widths. Oh, look at there it is. There it is. Right click, access options, and there we go. That wasn't that hard. 20 is a decent amount. Would you look at that? I didn't know it was that easy to change. Let's throw Jonathan some points in the chat. Thank you, Jonathan. So it might work on a Mac also to right click and then go to, you have to click the axis though. Right click the axis, 2-finger click on a Mac sometimes, format access, and then you can change the bin widths right here to make, see there's a bin width of 20. Someone who's 115 would go into this bin right here. So it starts at the lowest, inclusive of that value, and goes up to, but does not include 115. So you don't have to change the bin width. I don't think it's in our instructions. It's just sometimes like you don't want ridiculous bin widths. Like that is horrific. And you don't also want huge bin widths. That's going to be non-informative because everyone's basically in one group. So you want to pick something like decent that works. It's a lot of algorithms pick this for you, but you don't have to change it per our instructions, I believe. So I just got it. I'm going to delete that because it's in the way of my work. Okay, so now we need these summary statistics and IQR. The data analytics tool packs can be the #1 way to do this. If you didn't complete the assignment, check out the previous videos or Google on this channel, Data Analytics Toolpak. I always hate telling people to do things. They always say, show somebody where it's at. Don't tell them where it's at. So we're going to drop a video here. Data Analytics Toolpak is right here. We're going to drop the video. If you don't have the Data Analytics Toolpak, this should help you get it. That video right there walks you through the installation steps and guides for it. So go ahead and get the Data Analytics Toolpak. It makes life easier for doing statistics. You can do it other ways too, though. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to go ahead, and I think we can go ahead, I'm going to keep saying that, and select desired weight by clicking E. Now we're going to go here to Data. Under Data, we've already installed the Data Analytics Toolpak, so it appears right here. We click Data Analytics Toolpak. Notice, I'm going to scroll to Descriptive Statistics. With Descriptive Statistics, we can get an analysis of this, including the 5-number summary. I think. I apparently didn't select that data, so I'm going to select column E, and I'm going to go for labels in the first row. That means at the very top, there's not a data value, there's a label value. So make sure to select what I've selected here, your column of data, per your instructions, and then also select label in first row, which yours also does have too. If it doesn't have a label in the first row, don't do that, don't select that. That's when your data would look like the following. It would look like that. That is where there's no data in the first row, which really, you shouldn't be doing that. So once again, the steps are, because I got to go back in time now, is go to Data Analysis, go to Descriptive Statistics, and then go to select your column right here, desired weight for me, and then labels are in the first row. You see it right there. And then summary statistics are going to be included. So now we're going to click OK. This is how your screen should look with your column selected. Here we are, and we are missing something, but I also want to show you this. What I like to do, and this is part of your points, is I like to take and copy this with Control-C or Command-C, and copy it over to here. Makes it a little easier to work with in Screenshot. We're going to double click inside of J and K to make it wider. You can also just drag, but double click expands to the length of what's in the column or in the row. And so with this right here, we are going to add in a few more things. We are going to add in Q1. We're going to add in Q3. And we're going to add in the IQR. So to find these values, we're going to have to write a formula because we don't have them up here. We're going to type equals and then quartile. Equals quartile. Double click it. Now you have to give the array of data. This just means the column of data. So we're going to take back over here on our original sheet and scroll through desired weight. Now I've got a lot to scroll. Actually, I don't know if I can double click it. You only have 50, so there you go. Notice I have this and I didn't put the row name in there because that's not a data value. That's a row name. So all I did was drag and drop, and you see it says from this sheet right here, rows E2 through, well, cell E2 through E cell 2 to E700. I was trying to say 2 again. Mine says error. It says input range contains non-numeric data. Double check that you put first, the column is, the names are in the first row. Did you click that button, Jonathan? And then since we're doing Q1, we're going to type a 1 right here. We're going to put a 1 for Q1. So right here's the code. And I'll do the next one. It's very similar. You see it says quartile from the student sheet, E2 through E700. And then we're just type equals quartile. Again, we could copy it, but I'm just showing the same process. It's nearly identical. There it is. We're going to go select the data from the student sheet. And you're just going to go inside of here and select the desired weight, scroll down. And then you have the data right there. And then you're going to put a comma and 3 because this is Q3, which is the 75th percentile. And then the IQR, do we make the histogram from the original sheet or the random data? Good question, Paige. Usually that's your, because that's everyone's going to be unique, your random data. Good question, Paige. Let me throw you some points. You'll use the random data throughout the assignment. You're using your random data. That's the point of the random data. It's then everyone has a unique answer. So people don't copy each other. So now you're going to find the IQR by doing equals Q3 minus Q1. So I just clicked, I did equals, and then I clicked Q3 minus Q1. And there it is right there. There's the IQR. So now I'm going to click here and delete out this. I'm right-clicking and deleting that. And I can make this look pretty now. So this is the steps to make this look real pretty. Is first off, we're going to go inside of here. And we're going to put on this table, it's under home right here. I always lose where it's at a little bit. There it is, the borders. So you select all those cells and then go to all borders. And then I'm going to put in a full border around it. And then we're going to put a full border around this. And then we're going to make the top cell a different color. We're going to fill it in with a little light green. And then we're going to put this as, that's good right there. And then we're going to make these bold to make it easier to read. Make this bold, make it a little bigger. And then we could change some decimals here, purport to like 1 decimal. Or that one we could report to like 3 decimals. So now we're just clicking to delete the decimals. And it's a little bit of preference sometimes, but don't go too crazy. Think about like how many numbers do you need? And yeah. So what do you think? This over here on the right, like just take a look, which this doesn't even have everything. And then I think I answered that one good. Like if you look at this graphic right here, we'll grab them both and then we'll screenshot them down. Just do a visual comparison. Don't include them both. Do not include them both. So someone has me on mute and they include them both. I'm like, no, don't do that. I'm trying to do a visual comparison right here. What are your thoughts between the two of these? You got graphic 2, which we can bring to right here. I think it should be very evident which person took time and made something that looked a lot nicer than here's just output. There you go. Just to confirm, IQR and 5 numbers should be just, it's always from the random sample. Correct. Exactly. The colorful, even if you make this bigger here, the colorful one is way better, like nicer on the eyes, easier to read. This, you can't even read all the things in this because it's going off. Technically, and they shouldn't get mad, that should be extended a little bit more. If they took out points for that N being hit right there at the end, yeah. In my mode, is that it just probably means there's no mode most often. All the values are unique. Good at questions, last answer right there. If I got an NA in mode, yep, probably means they're all unique. Yep. I think people are doing all right? So we now have our really good, they shouldn't take off points for that. Like, you might just extend this a tiny bit right there to make sure that's not getting hit. And then you could just rescreen. Like, if I was doing this for a grade, I would be like, there we go, okay. Just in case. I don't want them to take up any points. Don't lose any points for this. That looks great. That's what we want to see in a report. We got all this data right here, all this stuff to think about. And I think that's done it. Did we get it? Make sure to run descriptive statistics on price. That's the one you're doing. Include the mean, the median, the standard deviation, all that good stuff. Calculate the IQR manually. Here's the math for it. Here's an example of what it should look like. We did ours even more beautiful than this because, of course, we're going to do that. And submit a screenshot, including the summary statistics and the IQR using your formulas right there. Task 5, we're almost done. So I hope people realize, like, these aren't that, like, when you know how to do it, it's not that bad. When you don't know how to do it, you're like... So that's what we're here to help with, is to give you that knowledge on how to do it. And then you're like, I can do this. If someone said, make some descriptive statistics for me, and you say, I got this. I always thought statistics growing up was like a big complex thing, but then I'm like, statistics is cool. I still think statistics is cool. Okay. What insights? So these are the questions we need to answer right here. In your own words, respond to the following. What insights does the bar chart provide for a clarity category in your sample? Provide numeric backing. So maybe I'll take a screenshot of this and we'll just go through. And I'm going to answer mine. Create a task 5 in your Word document. This section should be below the screenshot. You created in task 1 through 4. So once again, this would be down here in the Word document. It's going to be like task 5. Interpretations. Does that make sense? You will answer these questions. You can like label the task, make it clear for us to see which parts you're doing. But this is task 5, interpretations right here at the end. So the first thing is to interpret the bar chart. I mean, what am I going to say about this bar chart? I would say the analysis. Don't start with the analysis. Everyone will copy what I say. You could say the analysis, or when I examined, or looking at handedness, or students' handedness shows. Come up with your own words. Don't say what I say. Don't say the analysis shows. Don't copy word for word. Let me put the thing up. Don't do exactly what's Brian. Don't copy me word for word. There's a million ways to say this. Looking at students' handedness, in my analysis of students' handedness, awesome, Jonah, right there. From what I gathered from students' handedness, the vast majority of students, 615 of them, are right-handed. This is pretty much, and I could figure it out, I think it's 699 sample. Pretty sure it's 699, so. This is around 88% of the students. There were 61 students who were left-handed, the second largest group, which represents 8.7% of students. Very few students reported being ambidextrous, which represents 3.3% of students, which is only about 1 in 30 students is ambidextrous. So there it is. The most common group of students were right-handed, representing 88% of students, 615 out of this. Notice how I'm giving the numeric backing when talking about it. You're just going to literally give the numbers. You could find the percentages. You just give the numbers. Talk about it. A lot of students are right-handed. It was this many, and it's this percentage. That's how we talk about bar charts. It's literally just talk to someone about this graphic as though they can't see it. The next question is, based on the histogram, is the distribution of price symmetric or skewed? Well, I've got different data, and come on, what kind of monster man are we dealing with right here? What kind of monster man are we dealing with? If you're in my class, you know Monster Man. It's almost like he's got a little Monster Man sometimes, a little extra Monster Man. For some points in the chat, what kind of Monster Man is this? We got to say in our class. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever ways the Monster Man's tail goes. So, right to the high, left to the low. Megan knows right there. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. This is a right-skewed Monster Man. So definitely right-skewed, slight bimodality. So we got a slightly bimodal, right-skewed Monster Man right there. That is our Monster Man. Is that all it asks? Clearly, my distribution is skewed to the right. Which measure of center is more appropriate? Well, once you figure out the shape, if it is skewed, you would go with the median and the IQR. If it's more normal, which yours could be, then you would go with the mean and standard deviation. So just explaining that to somebody, because my distribution has this, I would go with this, or because my distribution has this, I would go with this. So the shape determines the center and the spread. So, and the reason we use the median is because it's not impacted by outliers. The reason we use the IQR is because it's also not impacted by outliers. The mean and standard deviation are a typical measure people use. So when data is normal, as in like bell-shaped curve, no outliers, no extreme skew, or it could also be more uniform too, and then you would still use these because there's no extreme values. The more there's extreme values, skewness to it, outliers, which are extreme values, the more you're going to use median and IQR, the more you're going to use those values. And I think that did it. Yeah, do not submit screenshots in this section. Okay. And then we're going to look at we're going to review right here in a moment. And then last but not least, AI reflection on one specific way you used ChatGPT to help you complete this assignment. You could use it to check. You can also use MuBot if you want. Let me give suggestions right here. And we might need to make sure MuBot's updated on this. But if you didn't know this, so we have a MuBot GPT, and also if you don't want to use ChatGPT, I think we have taken that students are like, I do not use ChatGPT. I will not use it. That is a choice, and we will take that. That is your AI reflection on this. And is that not MuBot GPT? Hey, there's MuBot GPT. Okay, let's go over here on MuBot GPT. So we're into MuBot GPT right now. What's he saying? He's saying searching is not. I say hello. Hello, welcome to MuBot, your friendly neighborhood Stat 1 helper. I'm here to make the class feel way less intimidating, whether you got a question about the syllabus or all these things. So here, let's go right here and be like, I am working on chapter 3. Give me 5 quiz questions that are true, false. Okay, relationship between two categorical variables. A mosaic plot is used to visualize relationship between categorical variables. True. Two categorical variables are independent. The conditional distributions will be the same. If they're independent, true. If they're independent, you see the same conditionals. When analyzing two categorical variables, numerical summaries like the mean, standard deviation, no, that is false because it's categorical. So we're not going to use mean and stuff like that for categorical. In a segmented bar chart, each bar represents 100% of the observations within each category. True, because the bar gets segmented. I don't use many of those. That is not a good test question for our class. We don't go into detail. If the conditional distributions differ noticeably across the group, this assessment means there may be an association. True. Let's see how we did. Come on, MuBot. But you can use MuBot to practice right here. Nice work. 5 out of 5. I'm going to say 10 out of 10. And then he goes into, but those are pretty decent questions. Those are pretty decent. So we got MuBot GPT right there. Here's your checklist of what you need. Your Excel file and your random sample. Your Word document needs to have these things. Your Excel file, academic integrity reminder. Do not copy anybody. Do not copy. Do not copy. Do not copy. So do not do that. Okay. Well, with that, let's see. Yeah, there it is. All 4 points were addressed. All 4 provided with screenshot the summary statistics. How are people feeling? Did people get this done? People are probably typing away right now. Visualizing created with all the required stuff. Did people do this? Did people do this? Have people done this? I wonder if people's thoughts on going here. Wasted data analytics 2. Data analytics 2. Going in here. When task 2 says ensures the bars represents the counts, not the sum, what does that mean? It should be, okay, hopefully I didn't, it's, yeah, the sum, it should be counts when you see right here. Do I have it? Here's mine. See, it says count right here, count of handedness. If it says sum, you'd have to go here to value field setting and change it off of sum. I don't know if sum will mess it up. Yeah, that's got an issue. So you want to go here and make sure it says count. So that's where it can, mine didn't do that by default, but if somebody's did, you'd want to fix that right there. So it should say count. Like if it looks like this, you're good to go. But yeah. That's got it. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to send a quick email. Send a quick email. Have a good day. That's got it. Gonna go on a little walk. Enjoy time. Well, that's got it. Woo, 53 emails today so far. Ah. Well, until then, we're going to head off. We'll be back to next week. Oh my gosh, week's already over, basically. Bye for now, everyone. Bye! We've almost got these new intros ready. We're almost there.
This has been going for like 20 hours. This ends now.